I look like somebody grandma. This is my great grandma cardigan though. But hi, welcome to my channel. Welcome back. My mind went blank. Hope everybody been living in love, peace, and harmony. And if you're not, let's get you right. Today I kind of want to talk about turning inward. Yeah, it seems so easy to do. It seems so straightforward, but if that was the case, a lot of us would not be amiss. At the end of the day, people be at a lot of standstills. Stuff be hitting the fan because people just refuse to turn inward. It could all be so simple. In the words of my good sister Lauren Hill, Miss Lauren Hill at that. So what I mean by turning inward, when you're going through something that can be incredibly painful, when you're going through something that has changed you, when you are going through change, instead of turning inward, you turn to everybody else. You turn to the opinions of others. You turn to addiction. You turn to fear instead of just sitting with yourself, meditating and breathing. At the end of the day, everybody who's ever been addicted to something, it was because they were afraid to feel themselves and face themselves. Today I pulled the hermit. The hermit, we think of the hermit, we think of somebody that don't leave the house because they're lonely. But when I think of the hermit, I think of someone whose loneliness belongs to them, who chooses to own that lonely and make it turn to solitude and not just loneliness. Because loneliness is when you're placed in a position to be alone. Instead of accepting that, you crave outside things, you crave other people, and that's okay. Because a lot of times we do become lonely because we're people. We deserve to have relationships. We deserve to have things that come for us around us. But sometimes we seek too much comfort. Me, I used to be a relationship addict. Am I still one? No. But I'm sitting in my lonely right now. I'm in hermit mode, turning inward and saying, okay, if you never turn inward, you keep going from relationship to relationship, it's always going to be something incredibly wrong with that relationship because you're not turning inward. So you're going to attract something that's on the same frequency as you. And as a person that never turns inward, do you really want to do that shit? Do you want to attract another person who's battling themselves and refuses to sit with themselves and ground themselves in their own identity in God? You don't really want to do that. You don't really want to be placed in a situation where you need to be alone and you can't be alone. It's uncomfortable. Sit with yourself and the things you've done, the things you've said to people. So you turn to alcohol, you turn to other drugs. It can be as simple as food, sugar. We have these moments where we stress eat and we crave these greasy things because it adds heaviness on us. When we're light, we see ourselves when we're light. We feel ourselves when we're light. We can feel the ways our environment impacts us when we're feeling light. So we crave things that makes us feel heavy and less sensitive to our environment and to ourselves, where we can't see ourselves. So they cover us up. Whether that just be other people covering you up. You hide behind people, you hide behind things, you hide behind drugs. It can be so hard to turn inward. And let me tell you, it's going to be a time where you get fed the hell up with yourself. And you're like, all right, I'm tired of attracting these people. I'm tired of not having the community I want, the relationship with myself, a lover that I want. I'm tired of eating this way. I'm tired of talking to myself this way. But I have yet to really sit with myself and see why I am the way I am. What thing in my childhood did this to me? What past relationship did this to me? It can be such a beautiful and humbling thing when you sit with yourself, to see yourself. And seeing yourself don't even necessarily mean seeing the bad things. I remember when I shaved my head because I really wanted to see myself physically. And I cried because I just couldn't like imagine me having this face, this facial structure, this beauty, this body hiding under big hair, long hair, weaves and all that, hiding that. And I cried because I'm like, damn, this me the whole time? You really learn to sit with yourself. And right now I'm sitting with myself in hermit mode, and I'm like, wow, I have such a beautiful mind. I love the way I carry myself. I can't believe I let others convince me that I was not worthy of being seen, being heard, being loved. I let people convince me that I wasn't talented. So you just gotta take that time to sit with yourself, really journal. I like to do shadow work when I sit with myself. It can be painful. Everybody not meant to do shadow work. Some people you need to go to therapy and sit down and talk. Other people, they need other forms of therapy that doesn't just include talking to somebody. Like maybe starting a YouTube channel. Something that really gets their physical involved, running, float therapy, sensory deprivation. Like explore ways to sit with yourself. It's not a fit all, type situation. Really sit with yourself and see the things that you like, the things that bring you comfort. I know cooking, when I'm in a good space, when I'm in a safe space, safe environment, I love cooking. I love smelling foods and spices, So it can be a really, like I said, humbling but beautiful thing to sit with yourself. But what I was saying, I like to journal. I like to really pick up a pen and say, okay, I do this bad thing. I gotta have an attitude. I know I can. What made me have an attitude? I know that I have an attitude when I've continuously been put in fight or flight situations, when I've been in survival mode. So I think every disagreement turns into survival mode, like fight or flight. So now my heart is guarded. Now my mind is guarded. Now my body is tensing up. Now my heart is racing. I'm anxious. And I have an attitude, and I'm yelling and I'm screaming because I want to be heard. But at the same time, I want to hide because I don't feel safe. And I have to go into hermit mode and remind myself that I'm arguing with this person that I love or disagree. A disagreement doesn't always have to turn to an argument. But either way, it isn't life or death. I'm not in that toxic situation. This person is not going to harm me in this way. So let me go into hermit mode and remind myself that I am safe. I am at peace with myself. And if I am at war with myself, then I need to be alone. But yeah, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some being honest with yourself. It's going to take some venting to your community, to your people. I know when people be like, I'm sorry for laying this heaviness on you. Sometimes I get that. Because listen, I'm going to ask you, can I lay something heavy on you? And I would like people to say, okay, not right now. But sometimes what we think is heavy, really just venting. It's really just community. It's really just friendship. But society has convinced us to stay balled up, intense, and hold these things until it's too late. And then now you got to go in hurt mode because you got too much. But yeah, it's time to sit with yourself. It's time to be the hermit. time to be the hermit, to find, what am I looking? The value in yourself, the value in being alone. It's time. And you can do it. You can absolutely do it. So I pray that you learn to be on your way, that you learn to sit with yourself in all that you are and all of your magic. Ashe.